Of the question you have just asked, I would have to digress into the child rights law, which is present in most states of the Federation. We have the Child Rights Act at the federal level, which is an offshoot of the International Convention on the Rights of the Child. So, which Nigeria ratified. It was a convention, Nigeria ratified it and domesticated it as a local legislation.
Welcome back, viewers. We are still very much on the talk with Anny and Zee, and our guest, Mr. Mukhtar, is still very much here. Now, sir, my question is, a woman who is being abused, she wants to come forward, but then with no source of income, and she knows that no sane court is going to give her the custody of her children without a sustainable source of income. So what can she do? What can you advise this woman legally in order not to avoid losing her children?
Thank you for that question. The fact that a woman is being abused and she wants to come forward does not necessarily translate to separation between the couple. So where the coming forward of the woman does not result into separation, the issue of custody of the child might not even arise at that moment, because the issue of speaking up against abuse and divorce are two separate issues. Of course, the abuse of a woman may lead to separation in the long run, but where separation arises and the issue of custody comes into place, then the family courts of the various states, established under the child rights law of the various states, would assume jurisdiction to determine who gets the custody of the child. And the primary consideration that the family court has to contend with is not about who has a job and who does not have a job. The child rights law provides that the primary consideration in determining who gets the custody of the child is the welfare of the child. So it is now for the court to look at the surrounding circumstances to determine what will best serve the best interest of the child. Is it by giving the custody to the father, or giving the custody to the mother, or in some extreme situations, the court even has the power to give the custody of the children, particularly the underage children below 14, to the state. The state can actually take the children into custody. So they can both lose the custody. What is paramount is the best interest of the child, and that is left for the court to decide.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mukhtar.
You're welcome.
So, from everything you have said, we actually learned that in as much as the mother is not capable to take care of the children, and the father is not the best person to even take care of the children, we have the state who can actually cater for the needs of the children under 14. That's what you said.
Yes, then I would like to chip in something at this stage.
Okay.
Even if the mother has no resources to take care of the child, and the court finds that giving the custody of the child to the mother serves the best interest of the child, the court can actually still go ahead to make an order for the provision of maintenance and on the father, for instance. Yes, the court can make a maintenance order, in which case the father will have a responsibility to continue to provide maintenance for the children. And besides, even under the VAP, one of the offenses created by the Violence Against Persons Act and the Violence Against Women law of Oyo State is for a man to leave his spouse and children without providing the necessaries of life for them. So deserting a woman without providing necessities of life for her, food, clothing, and shelter, is categorized as an act of violence against that particular spouse, for which the court can even punish the defaulting party.
So, under what kind of punishment will be melted out to that man? I mean, some men can actually be stubborn to say, oh, she actually said she doesn't want to be under my roof for us to take care of our children. Is it that they're going to send the man to? I mean, how exactly is the law going to bring the, all the things that are necessary to take care of those children? How are they going to get it from this man, considering the fact that male can be very, very egoistic most times?
And in a situation where even the woman has a source of income, is it still his right to provide for the woman?
Of course,
since they're no longer together.
Well, under the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, the focus of the law is not strictly speaking on a particular gender. So it offers protection to the two genders, and that is why it is Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. And the language of that law is spouse. In most cases, it talks about spouse. It doesn't, as opposed to the Violence Against Women law of your state, which is gender specific, in that it offers protection to only the female stock. Probably because at the time, the lawmakers felt that the female gender is the vulnerable gender deserving of some special protection from the state.
So briefly, we're trying to say, I really agree with me that when this violence occurs, I mean, it could be in the case of a man being, victimized, being the victim, and then the woman can be taken to court. What if, just like we said, the man may not have the job, but then the woman has all the resources? So is it still the same punishments that will be melted out? And this is what we're going to discover on our next section. Thank you very much and stay tuned.